Chapter 1, Greenland, 2000 BC to AD 1942. Greenland makes no sense. First, there's the name, which as most schoolchildren know should be Iceland, but that was already taken. Almost nothing green grows in Greenland, where more than 80% of the land is buried under deep ice, deep as in up to 10,000 feet or 2 solid miles. If all of Greenland's ice melted, a worst-case scenario of climate change, the world's oceans would rise by 20 feet or more. Greenland's colorful name is blamed on a colorful Viking called Eric the Red. Eric went to sea when he was exiled from nearby Iceland in the year 982 after he killed 2 men in a neighborhood dispute. In addition to being an explorer, a fugitive killer, and a lousy neighbor, Eric was the world's first real estate shill. He christened his discovery Greenland in the belief that a good name would encourage his countrymen to settle there with him. The ploy worked, and the community that Eric founded on the island's southwest coast survived for more than 4 centuries. Unlike the pilgrims who came to North America, Eric and his band found no nearby natives to trade with or learn from, so they relied on themselves and on imports from Europe. But by the Middle Ages, decades passed between ships. The once robust Vikings grew smaller and weaker. Eventually they died out altogether, leaving ruins but little else. Eric the Red is perhaps better remembered for siring Leif Erikson, who sailed to North America some 500 years before Columbus. Leif called his discovery Vinland or Wineland, but Icelanders wouldn't be fooled twice by the same family, and no lasting settlements followed. A competing but equally odd theory says that the name Greenland was bestowed by the native Inuit people, formerly called Eskimos by outsiders. Their sporadic presence on Greenland traces back some 4,000 years, starting with travelers believed to have crossed the narrow straits from North America. The Inuit clustered near the rocky coastline, and in the words of one medieval historian, Adam of Bremen, had lived there long enough to have acquired a greenish tinge from the seawater beside which they dwelt. Under this theory, anyone who looked vaguely green must have come from Greenland. If Greenland had to be named for a color, white seems the obvious choice, but blue was viable as well. Although white at the surface, glacier ice on much of Greenland comes in translucent shades of blue, ranging from faint aquamarine and turquoise just below the surface to indigo in the depths of crevasses. The phenomenon is caused by countless years of snow being compacted into ice. Snow contains oxygen, which scatters light across the visible spectrum, making it appear white. Compacting squeezes out the oxygen, and the compacted ice crystals that remain absorb long light waves and reflect short waves. The shortest light waves are violet and blue, and so, the ice at the cold heart of Greenland is blue. Greenland's strangeness is compounded by its great but politically inconsequential size, its almost complete emptiness, and its unconscionable weather. In a world where size generally matters, Greenland's doesn't. The island is globally overlooked despite being enormous, more than 1,600 miles from north to south and 800 miles at its widest point. Greenland could swallow Texas and California and still have room for a desert of New Mexico, Arizona, Florida, Pennsylvania, and all of New England. It's 3 times the size of France, and it occupies more than twice the area of the planet's second largest island, New Guinea. Yet Greenland is the world's loneliest place. With 58,000 residents, it has the lowest population density of any country or dependent territory. Only Antarctica with no permanent residents makes Greenland seem crowded. If Manhattan had the same population density as Greenland, its population would be 2. One way to picture Greenland is to look at a world map and find the blank white spot to the northeast of North America. Another way is to imagine an immense bowl filled with ice. At the outer edge of the island, jagged mountains that rise as high as 12,000 feet create the bowl's rim. The land between the coastal mountains, the bowl's concave middle, is filled with ice that built up over tens of thousands of years as yearly snowfall exceeded melting. The more the ice accumulated, the more the land in the central part of the island became depressed from the weight, hence the ice-filled bowl that is Greenland. A closer look reveals that the bowl's rim has cracks, spaces between the mountains. Driven by gravity, large bodies of ice called glaciers flow toward the sea like slow-moving rivers. When a glacier's leading edge runs out of land, it fulfills its destiny by hurling